Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be teaching you how to make a-line dress as you see on my side screen. For this tutorial you'll be needing African prints about 3 yards, and organza about half yards, and a lining of 2 yards. To get started, firstly we are going to start with the Ankara fabric. I'm using 3 yards for my client for this dye. I'm going to start by opening up the fabric. So the length of the Ankara is 45. I'm going to be folding it breadthwise, and watch how I'm folding it. What I mean by breadthwise is by folding it like so, as I fold my Ankara print on the screen. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is laying flat. And to get the circumference, the measurement for folding it, because we are folding the front first, to get the measurement for the folding, we are going to divide our biggest circumference. And for my client, our biggest circumference is our hip measurement. So we are going to divide our hip measurement by 4. Then we are going to add 2 inches for sewing allowance, and that is how we are going to get the actual measurement for the folding of the front piece. So I'm just trying to adjust the fabric to get the correct measurement for it. And remember, I said you are going to fold your fabric into breadthwise like so. So the next thing to do now is to start with our vertical measurement. So here we are going to come down by half an inch from the upper part. Then we are going to mark the shoulder measurement. For my client, her shoulder is 16 measurements, and that will be divided into 2, and it gives us 8 inches. Then I'm marking her chest line. For her chest line, she's using 8 inches. Then the next thing, for the neck depth with 3 inches, and the neck depth is also going to be 3 inches for a normal round neck, because this dress we still have a slit open at the neck. So then next thing we are going to take is our bust measurement, our under bust, and our half length, then our gown length. For my client, she's using 38. Then I'm going to add an extra 1 inches for hemming allowance, but this dress is going to have a lining. We are going to use that 1 inches to turn it. Then our hip measurement, then you connect like so. You connect each point on with a straight line. Then the next thing is to take our body circumference. For our bust, I already mark it. Our bust divided by 4. Then you mark it on the chest line and also on the bust line. Then for the armhole, you are going to divide the armhole length into 2. Then come in by half inches. Then you connect like so. Then next thing is taking a body circumference. I divided our bust into 4. Then mark it on the chest line and also on the bust line. Then for the half length, we are going to measure our waist circumference. Our waist divided by 4, and you are going to add the sewing allowance of 2 inches to it. Then on the hip line, you are going to do the same thing. You are going to divide our hip measurement divided by 4. Then you are going to add your sewing allowance. And next thing to do now is to connect the lines together, like you see me doing. Just watch what I'm doing. You are going to understand. Then because this dress is an A-line shape, so you mark what you have on your hip line on the hemline. Then you connect it straight down. And the next thing to do now is to cut it out. I've cut it out on the side and on the armhole, and you can see I already fold my back, and I place the front piece on the back. I left 1.5 inches for the zipper allowance. Then you can see from the armhole, I didn't come in too much. I didn't let the armhole to go in deep like the front. Then on the zipper line, I come in by half an inches and I connect it back to the up and to the hip line. Then we are going to slash it through. Just watch what I'm doing. You are going to understand everything. Just watch carefully. So I'm cutting out the armhole now, because the back armhole is different from the front armhole. Just watch as I cut it out. Then after cutting that out, then I realized I haven't marked the back neck measurement. For the back, I'm going to go in by 1 inches. Then I will maintain the 3 inches width for the neckline of the front for the back too. And I'll connect like that. Then I'm going to slash the zipper part open. Just watch as I open up, as I cut out the half inches with hooking from the waistline. Then we are going to cut our neck line too. So for the front also, I'm going to cut out the neckline. Then I'm going to come down by 4 inches and open it up. I hope you understand. I'm still going to explain better, because right now I forgot to open it up, but I'm still going to show you what I mean. Now the next thing to do now is to cut out the sleeve. For the sleeve, you will see that the sleeve is divided into 3 parts. The middle part has an organza, transparent one. So for my client sleeve, I'm going to, as our bicep is 4 inches, then from my sleeve length, I'm taking 22 plus 1 inches for hemming allowance. Then after that, I'm going to come down by 10 inches, then connect like so. Then for the middle part, I'm going to be taking 5 inches, and I will also roll it out like so. So for the middle part now, you can see what I'm doing there. Then next thing is to connect our armhole, and watch how I'm connecting it like so. I'm going to be having a detailed tutorial on how to achieve a basic sleeve, but this sleeve is an L-shaped sleeve, so it's going to be a free sleeve. So I connect the armhole, so then I'm going to take the round arm measurement for my client. Round arm measurement is 16 inches. Then for allowance, I'm going to be adding 1.5. Then I'll connect it like so. I'll connect it slanted to the hemline. Then I'll cut. Before I cut this, this sleeve is 3 parts, so I'll be adding half inches to both the first layer and the last layer. Just watch what I did. After cutting it out, I notch the center part. Then I'm going to add half inches before cutting. You see what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying now? I'm going to be adding it to the lower part and to the upper part. So when I'm cutting the middle part on my organza, I'm going to replace the half inches back on it. So this is me cutting out the first layer and the last layer, and I cut out the middle part from it, leaving the half inches on it. Then I'll move that aside and place my organza next. For the organza, we place it into 2. Then I'll place my fabric on it. Remember, this part has an upper part and it has an lower part, so don't mix it up. So you are just going to cut. For this organza, the down part was folding, so I first cut it out so not to have and fold hem. So remember that we took out half inches on both of the middle parts. So that is what we are going to replace back on this organza. So you are going to replace that, and you are going to cut it out. No more allowance on the side. You are just going to cut it out. Then you are going to cut it out, 2 pieces out. Then for the lining, I'm just managing lining here. So for the front part, we are going to be leaving reducing the lining length by 1 inches. Remember that we added only 1 inches for the hemming allowance for the dress, so don't forget you are going to leave 1 inch for the lining. Then you are going to trace the fabric on the lining out like so. Then remember that I told you that I forgot to cut slit the neckline. So this is it, me slitting the neckline and the lining together for the front slit. So when I'm done cutting the front fabric, then the next is to cut the for the back. For the back also, because my lining is very short, so I just manage and I cut it out like so. Then I mark the front and the back to not miss it out. For this dress, my client wants a belt on the waistline, so she wants a belt so that it will give her a snatching effect. Remember that we are also going to be adding zip to this dress because she wants a fitted a-line gown. So I'm just trying to manage the remaining pieces for the belt. Now that's what I'm doing here. For the belt, I will be using the length of 30 and the width of 4. Then when I fold it, it will be 2 inches in total. Then I'm going to cut it out like so. Then next thing is to turn the lining and the fabric. To turn the lining with the fabric, you are going to place the lining on the front side, facing front side. Then you are going to join at the side, turn the neckline, then turn the hemline. For the front, you can see how I'm describing on how you are going to turn your neckline, because my phone wasn't recording when I was doing that, so I'm just showing you. You are going to stitch it around the side, then you turn it outside from the armhole, because you are not going to stitch your armhole. You are going to turn it outside, then you take it to your ironing table and press. So I'm done ironing it. I'm not turning the back piece too, and I'm done ironing everything. Now the next thing to do is you place your back piece to your front piece, right facing each other. Then you are going to make sure the side align together, and you're going to use your pin to hold them together. Make sure the sides are aligned together to the armhole line. So make sure you pin everything together. Then the next thing is you're going to join your shoulder together like so. So you are going to use your lining to turn it in a way that when you stitch the shoulder, the joining allowance is not going to be showing. Just watch how I'm demonstrating it there. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine to do that now. But before I do that, I'm going to take my client's measurement. Now the reason why I'm leaving half inch from the upper body is because I'm going to turn that side, that shoulder. So I measure her waist measurement, then her hip measurement. Then for our bust measurement, I'm going to divide our bust measurement by 2. When we are cutting, we divided by 4, but now we are going to divide by 2 because the dress is not folded into 4, it's folded into 2 now. So whatever allowance is left, I'm going to divide that by 2 again, then I'm marking it like so. So our waist measurement now, I divided it by 2, then I also add an ease allowance to it because you'll be using belt. So from there, I measure the remaining allowance, then I divided into 2 because I'm dividing into 2 because I'm going to be sharing it on both sides. Then also on the hip line, I'm doing the same. For the hip line, I'm going to add 1.5 inches free ease allowance Then from there, I'm going to connect it down. Remember, this is an A-line gown, so you don't need to go in again. You just need to connect it like so. Just connect it straight down, because the down part is going to be so free. So just connect it like so. And remember, I told you that we are going to be adding beads into this dress. So I'm going to be bringing my belt and adding it to that. So I'm done joining the both sides together. As you can see, this is what it looks like, and I've fixed my belt when joining it. And this for the shoulder, this is what I'm talking about. You can see how neat the shoulder is looking. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is to fix the zip. Into the dress. You see that I haven't closed my zipper allowance, and for the dress I haven't ironed it either. So I'm just showing you the way it looks after joining the both sides together. And you can see how neat the inside and the outside is looking. And for the zipper, I've went ahead to mark out I've used my iron to fold out the zipper allowance. So I'm going to bring my zip now to show you how I'm going to be fixing it to the dress. Just watch what I'm doing. You are going to understand by watching the video carefully. So you bring out my zip, and I'm going to add it to the line I'm showing you. You see, I'm going to be facing the zip on the line. Remember, the dress is from the wrong side, so that's what you're going to be doing also. And before facing the zip, I'm going to measure from the upper part to where my zip is going to stop. Then from there, I'm going to join it to the side from the down, or from the part to the down part, because our zip is not going to reach the down. So I'm done fixing the zip now, and this is what the back of the dress look like. I hope you understand now. And this is what the front is looking like, all neat. And the next thing is to attach our sleeve to the dress. Then for the sleeve, I went ahead and joined the first sleeve. Then I want to explain on how I did this for you before fixing the second sleeve. So for the second sleeve, you're going to fold it into two. Then you notch the mid part. Then you place right face facing the net. Then also for the net, I've notched the middle part. So middle part together, you are going to join it by 1/2 inches. I hope you understand. After joining it, you are going to need to top stitch it. So let me just use pin to hold it for you, so you can understand better on what I meant by that. You are going to use your pin. After stitching it, you are going to top stitch in a way that the net is not going to be showing under the sleeve. I hope you see that after using my pin is showing, so you're just going to turn it up, then you top stitch over there. So that is what I'm showing you now. That is what I did on the first sleeve. The allowance is not showing on outside the net, it is inside. So after that, you're going to place the down part. I've went ahead and notched it so that we know the upper part and the down part. So you're going to also do the same thing, and you're going to fix your sleeve into the dress. To attach your sleeve to the dress, you're going to need to measure your round armhole like so. You make sure you get the accurate armhole measurement. Then you are going to, just to be sure, just for your sleeve to not to be too small or too big for your armhole. So when you are joining your sleeve, you are going to use the same measurements to join your armhole for the sleeve, like you see, before attaching it to it. I'm done attaching the sleeve to the dress, and you can see the fitting on the mannequin, because this dress is for my clients, so I just wear it on the mannequin. Thank you all for watching my video, and see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.